Rush Limbaugh, the Excellence in Broadcasting Network, and the Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies. I don't believe this. Oh, by the way, telephone number, 800-282-2882, and the email address, lrushmore@eibnet.com. I'm sitting here in stunned bewilderment, and I guess I shouldn't be. I have this silly notion that our nation is going to progress each and every day, that we're going to get better. I don't mean economically. I'm talking about sophistication, things that work in political campaigns. I guess I'm going to have to lower my expectations. And the problem with lowering expectations is, and I'm perpetually disappointed. And if I don't watch it, I'm perpetually depressed. The idea that Mitt Romney is a felon is still active. It's still the centerpiece of the Obama campaign. That Mitt Romney's a felon. I mean, here you got Barack Obama, who veritably grew up with them. His house financed by one. His campaign announced in the home of another felon, a guy that tried to blow up the Pentagon, Bill Gates. Obama's heirs. Sorry about that. I've been reading about Bill Gates. Bill heirs. They do look alike, but I didn't mean the Microsoft guy. I don't know. Have you noticed, though, there is a similarity? Can somebody prove that Gates wasn't at the Pentagon when it... At any rate, Obama is surrounded by dubious characters his entire life. His home is financed by a felon. And we're actually sitting here still debating... we're not... The regime is still putting it that Romney was a felon based on when he left Bain Camp. Here is the biggest milquetoast white bread guy that's ever run for president, who might not be able to define felony if you ask him as how far away from one he is. And we're sitting here, and Jack Welch and his lovely and gracious wife Suzy have a column out today in the Wall Street Journal. Now I can understand if this was in People, or if it was in whatever on TMZ, or if they did a special commentary on the E! Entertainment Network. But in the Wall Street Journal, the Bible of American business newspapers. I have it right here, my formerly nicotine-stained fingers. It's true. Corporations are people. We have come to this, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Welch, renowned CEO extraordinaire in his day, General Electric, has to write a piece in the Wall Street Journal guaranteeing that the people who need to see it will not, that corporations are people. We are that far gone that we have to explain this. It has come to this. This is no different than the Wall Street Journal running a piece explaining to their readers what the stock market is. Here's a new party trick, is how the Welch column begins. Want to be accused of being a member of a satanic cult? Like to be called the kind of person who would steal candy from a kid or harm a puppy, start a forest fire all on the same day? You want to be described as evil, heartless, and stupid? Well, then just do this. Offhandedly mention in public that you agree with Mitt Romney that, you think corporations are people. Boy, how that notion sets some people right off their rockers. Take, for instance, a scene last month when senatorial candidate Elizabeth Warren introduced Obama at a big fundraiser. She said, Mitt Romney tells us in his own words he believes corporations are people. No, Mitt, corporations are not people. People have hearts. They have kids. They get jobs. They get sick. They love and they cry and they dance. They live and they die. Learn the difference, Mitt. And the audience went nuts. They did. Welch is right about this. If you find yourself in a pack of liberals, all you'd have to say corporations are people, and you might cause 2 or 3 heart attacks. And if you're devoted to the cause, do not call EMT when the heart attacks happen. Let them die. Just kidding. It works. You tell a bunch of liberals that corporations are people, they go nuts. Now, folks, in the Wall Street Journal, This means that the Wall Street Journal must conclude that some of its readers don't know that corporations are people. This is akin to explaining to a 55-year-old that 1 and 1 equals 2. Yes, after a lifetime of confusion, we can finally tell you factually 1 and 1 equals 2. Yes, corporations are people. This depresses me. We've come to this. Take the politics out of it. I mean, as Welch goes on to say, of course, this embarrasses me to read this. I can't imagine how embarrassed Jack Welch was to write this. Of course, corporations are people. What else would they be? Buildings don't hire people. Duh? Really? Yeah, last time I interviewed with that building, it didn't do me any good. I interviewed with that desk, and I could not get a response whatsoever. Yeah, and then I went and I talked to the White House. And the White House put out a statement. The White House isn't people. It's just a building. If corporations aren't people, how the hell can the White House be people? How can Congress be people? It's a building. And a bunch of rotten stuff goes on in there. The Senate, that's not a bunch of people, it's a building. But I like the White House is not people. This is the Wall Street Journal, where Jack Welch is informing readers that buildings don't hire people. Wonder how many Wall Street Journal readers go, wow, I never looked at it that way before. Buildings don't hire people. Buildings don't design cars that run on electricity. Yeah, buildings are smarter than that. Buildings don't discover DNA-based drug therapies that target cancer cells in ways our parents could never imagine. Buildings don't show up at a customer's factory and say, we won't leave until we solve your inventory problems. Buildings don't encourage their employees to mention inner-city kids in math and science. Buildings don't find homeless shelters in Boston or health clinics in Rwanda. People do. Corporations are people working together toward a shared goal, just as hospitals, schools, farms, restaurants, ballparks, and museums are people working together. No. The Pittsburgh Steelers did not beat the St. Louis Rams. Heinz Field beat the Edward Jones Dome. Folks, it's depressing. I mean, Romney's a felon. This is absurd. And we could chalk it up maybe slow summer. You could even say maybe the Obama campaign is, if you want to look the optimistic way, the Obama campaign's got nothing. They've literally got nothing, if this is all they've got. But they're getting mileage out of nothing like nobody I've ever seen. At least in the media, which I know is less popular. Oh.